In the beginning, Transformers was established on a very simple idea. Cars good, jets evil. But that would not remain the standard for very long, as some would also become weapons and appliances. There would soon after be beast Transformers, such as heroic Dinobots and evil Decepticons. And as Season 1 continued, we would soon meet Skyfire, a jet fighter starcraft that would join the Autobots, and later, land-based vehicles like the Constructicons, who would serve Megatron. When the second line of figures premiered in 1985, fans would be introduced to two new Decepticon warriors, who each would convert to two different vehicle modes, giving birth to an all-new classification of Transformer, Triple Changers. Their story began in 1984 in Japan, as the first of their kind originated in Takara's Diaclone line with the release of two new figures. A triple-changing MiG-25 jet fighter that also converted from robot to Type 47 Japanese tank, as well as the Apache helicopter that also converted to jet fighter and robot. And even a third figure was designed, but never released, that transformed from Space Shuttle to a JR-9 51 steam train. In 1985, the tank and Space Shuttle would be recolored and released in the second year of the Transformers as Decepticons BLITZWING and ASTROTRAIN. The name Triple Changer itself was even brought over as well, taken from its Diaclone origins. Not too long after that, the novelty would wear off, and the very idea of Triple Changers became pretty simple, as some characters would go on to have as many as 6 transformations, like Decepticon 6-Shot and Autobot Quick Switch, and entire cities that can not only convert to Titan robots, but also mobile battle stations and interstellar command ships. Or in the case of Scorponok, a massive robotic scorpion that you do not want to see coming over the horizon. Outside of Generation 1, credit must be given to Megatron from 2001's Robots in Disguise, who started with 6 transformations, but when he was later upgraded to Galvatron, he gained 4 more. His toy holds a current record across all Transformers lines, with a total of 10 transformation modes. And now, back to G1. In 1986, 4 new Triple Changers were added to the line, giving each side of heroes and villains a total of 3. A third Decepticon was added named Octane, who converted from oil tanker to jetliner. And for the Autobots, Springer, introduced in Transformers the movie, converting from futuristic helicopter to car. Broadside, converting from aircraft carrier to jet fighter. And finally, Sandstorm, who converts from search and rescue helicopter to dune buggy. And much, much later, in 2002, a robot would appear in Dreamwave Comics' The War Within series, this robot being modeled after the unused helicopter from Diaclone. There, he would be referred to as Decepticon Fumes. Original stories from Transformers Collectors Club in 2016 would see the design used for 2 new characters, Decepticon Rotorbolt and Autobot Skyclick. However, save for Autobot Springer, none will ever be more memorable or revisited as the 2 original Triple Changers, AstroTrain and Blitzwing. Welcome back, one and all, to another episode of Leo Watches Transformers. Or in this case, one of Leo's least favorite episodes of Transformers. I just don't care for this one, and I think you're going to be able to tell as we get going. But without any further ado, this is Season 2, Episode 50, Triple Takeover. Here we go. Our story begins with 3 conniving villains engaging in the most cliché villain shenanigans of all time, altering the face of Mount Rushmore. Upon completing their art project, Starscream and Decepticon Triple Changers AstroTrain and Blitzwing decide one of the heads does not belong.
Yes, Blitzwing! One head has failed to lead us to victory over the Autobots!
But this mistake will be corrected, and soon!
I say, take that, symbolism. Upon returning to Decepticon base, the trio devise a plan to overthrow Megatron. The Triple Changers play into Starscream's exceedingly fragile ego.
Failure? I have not failed. I have just been waiting for the right time, that's all. And that time is now! I will get Megatron!
Blitzwing and ASTROTRAIN proceed to gloat, like a pair of flying cocks.
No planet ever lost its orbit, underestimating the stupidity of Starscream.
As the devious plan gets underway, Starscream leads Megatron to a rumored secret Autobot power station.
We'll need reinforcements. Reinforcements? This is our mission, Megatron. We don't need to share the glory. Unless Megatron is afraid.
Oh, snap! Also, this works. Megatron and Starscream are then trapped in a tunnel designed to leak in absolute 0-degree molecules, first causing Megatron to freeze in place. As Starscream attempts his planned escape, his supposed allies double-cross him, leaving him to the same fate as Megatron.
Whoa! 470 degrees below zero in there.
From there, things begin to get a little bit silly. At Central City's local stadium, the resident coach oversees football practice as Blitzwing makes a grand entrance, Kool-Aid Man style. Blitzwing then takes a strategic hostage.
You the commander in charge?
I'm the coach.
No one fools Blitzwing. You are a great military strategist. You will be my second in command.
Yes, he seems really smart.
Sorry, I've got a contract.
Contracts, like traitors, are made to be broken.
Damn! Use that line next time you quit your job. At a major local station, ASTROTRAIN makes a landing that once again reminds us he has a boring train mode as well.
I declare this to be ASTROTRAIN headquarters.
That's it! I'm retiring! Now!
From here, ASTROTRAIN abducts a group of non-sentient human trains, takes human-computer technology, circa 1985, that he rips up and damages in the process, then proceeds to use said antiquated technology to create an army of semi-sentient trains that can only run back and forth on pre-established tracks.
Now, give me some military advice.
You don't understand, Mac. I only know football plays.
Tell me what's on your mind, or I'll splatter it on the wall and see for myself.
Cartoons were really hardcore back in the day. And yes, Blitzwing takes practical military advice from an unqualified but innocent man who is simply afraid to die.
Defense! Zone defense!
Zone defense.
With Megatron out of the picture, Blitzwing orders the Constructicons to build a highway maze based on the vague key words, zone defense. He once again consults his military advisor on more catchy buzzword synergy.
I need more strategy.
The long bomb?
Thank you.
What an asshole! As a major bridge is severed, Autobot Hoist arrives in time to save a driver whose vehicle has fallen into the water from a great height, but is perfectly fine somehow. Hoist then repairs a support structure to prevent the bridge from collapsing any further. How nice. Wait, are those cars still heading towards the bridge?
With an assault of my long bombs, I'll totally level this city in no time!
Blitzwing's blatant perversion of the English language brings us to our first structured act break.
The Transformers will return after these messages.
Blitzwing's ability as a triple changer to rapidly transform makes him one of the most dangerous Decepticons. With a cruel sense of humor, Blitzwing is loudmouthed, belligerent, and brash. As a jet, he flies at Mach 2.7 for a range of 1,500 miles, and has heat-seeking concussion missiles. As a tank, he has track-mounted cannons that fire explosive shells 3.5 miles. As a robot, he wields an electron scimitar and gyro blaster rifle. Blitzwing often gets stuck in mid-transformation. Blitzwing would come to retail in 1985 in the second year of Transformers, and would go on to arrive midway through the second season in the episode Dinobot Island. He would show up through the rest of the season with no explanation of where he came from. His showcase episode Triple Takeover would see him and ASTROTRAIN plot to overthrow Megatron and take command of the Decepticons. The pair would be featured again together in Prime Target, seen hunting Optimus Prime through Lord Chumley's gauntlet of traps. Blitzwing's toy remained available through 1986, allowing him to appear in Transformers the movie, voiced by actor Ed Gilbert, just as he was in the series.
Come on down, Auto Rat!
This very same tank maneuver would go on to be referenced in 2007's live-action Transformers movie. When Season 3 began, Blitzwing was given a featured role in the opening miniseries, 5 Faces of Darkness, a role that was originally intended for Decepticon Shockwave, until the decision was made to discontinue his figure. As the evil ancient Quintessons aligned forces with the Decepticons, Blitzwing could not bring himself to trust them, as if some lost or buried memory was warning him of who they really were. Blitzwing would choose to side with the Autobots in order to stop the Quintessons, leaving him exiled from the Decepticons by Galvatron. Oddly, as the season went on, Blitzwing was swapped out of this storyline with new Decepticon triple changer, Octane, in the episode Starscream's Ghost, leading to some really confusing continuity problems. Blitzwing would go on to be seen again in the Japanese sequel series, The Headmasters. In 2005, Takara would reissue the original toy in its Diaclone colors, listing it as a Quintesson drone called Overcharge, further hinting at Blitzwing's potential origins. In exclusive stories in UK Marvel Comics, Blitzwing and AstroTrain were first seen serving in Lord Straxus' court on Cybertron. In American Marvel Comics, Blitzwing, along with AstroTrain and Octane, would come to Earth later in the story. Upon arrival, they would become infested with metal-eating scraplets. All 3 characters would meet their fates at the hands of Starscream during the Underbase saga, after their toys had been discontinued. Later, in the early 2000s, Dreamwave Comics would depict Blitzwing as the very first triple changer, having a unique genetic mutation. Later studied and experimented on by Shockwave, his triple-changing abilities were brought to full fruition. Shockwave would later pass what he learned onto the other 5 original triple changers, Autobots included. Dreamwave Blitzwing would come to a horrific end after he was captured by the Earth Defense Command. He was then turned over to Miles Mayhem, who would rip him apart and study him, leading to the creation of Mask, as Hasbro worked to consolidate multiple brands into a singular universe. 2007's Transformers Animated would bring a new Blitzwing, who not only changed between 3 forms, but was now split between 3 personalities, complete with changing faces and voices, each with a German accent.
As usual, Black Arachnia, your demeanor is as unpleasant as that accursed organic mode of yours.
Blow it at your actuator, Three-Face.
The name is Blitzwing, insect! Remember it! Cause it's the last thing you're gonna hear before I
express my feelings in song! The itsy bitsy spider crawl.
You want battle it out here and now, Blitzwing?
This new Blitzwing boasted new Nanofrost and Fire abilities. These powers would carry over to G1 Blitzwing when he served as a boss in 2015's Devastation video game, as well as a Generations toy of G1 Blitzwing featuring 3 spinning faces. In the Titans Return toy line, Blitzwing was released with Headmaster figure Hazard. Pack-In Comics with the figure would finally reveal that he was in fact one of the original overcharged drones who rose up, gaining his own individuality. A character named Blitzwing appeared in the live-action Bumblebee movie, sporting a look that confused many fans to believe that he was in fact Starscream. This Blitzwing was revealed to be responsible for the loss of Bumblebee's voice, shortly before Bumblebee would take him out, once and for all. First appearing in Transformers Siege, and later re-released through Transformers Legacy line, Blitzwing has recently received a new triple-changing leader-class figure with excellent G1 accuracy.
We now return to the Transformers.
We now return to Blitzwing acting like a damned fool, as the Constructicons continue working for the weekend. Responding way too late to some crazy shit that's been going down, the Autobots at long last get involved in the story. Autobots Trax, Bluestreak, Skids, and Prowl take the bait, entering the highway maze that's clearly a trap.
Sorry, kids. Your heroes are about to get their asses kicked in some of the most brutal ways ever seen on this show. Here's a montage to prove it. Are we having fun, kids?
Still not understanding how football works, Blitzwing awards himself more points.
Now, repeat after me. We, the soldiers of the AstroTrain Empire, will obey AstroTrain and scavenge the energy for his empire.
Yes. It's come to this.
So his plan is to have the trains collect oil, gas, and electricity. Something he could have easily done for himself in way less time than making semi-sentient trains trapped on human-made rails. Like all incompetent bosses and leaders, AstroTrain refuses to admit that his plan is as stupid as it is overly complicated.
It's hard to get good help these days.
As Constructicon Scrapper makes a twisted throne out of Autobot wreckage, Powerglide at last takes an aerial survey. Using his perspective from above, Powerglide leads Autobot's smokescreen and hoist safely through the maze, overtaking Scrapper in one of my favorite moves, making another robot cough. They manage to recover their damaged friends who are all somehow still alive. Cool.
We unfortunately return now to Astroforce.
AstroTrain fails to gain the respect from the Decepticon Seekers he now pretends to lead. Instead, they mock him for being a dumbass putz with an army of semi-sentient trains trapped to only travel on human-made rails. In one last desperate attempt to prove himself, he orders one of his trains to do something any of the other Decepticons could do for themselves, only much faster. AstroTrain's farcical plan backfires as the train breaks a major water main, causing massive flooding in the ongoing chaos. The underground water leakage at last unfreezes Megatron and a far less fortunate Starscream.
For everything that I've said negative about this episode, this leads to one of the greatest exchanges of dialogue in all of Transformers.
I was tricked! The triple changers! They told me it was a power station!
You are either lying or you're stupid!
I'm stupid! I'm stupid!
Ah, good stuff. At long last, Optimus Prime and Ironhide arrive on the scene, along with Spike, who states the obvious.
Megatron and Starscream! They're back!
And so is trouble.
Optimus Prime attempts to plug the water leak. Apparently, I don't know, somehow maybe. The water leak erupts even further, causing Spike to be washed away in the tide. Optimus Prime fails to grab him in time, leading to our next commercial cliffhanger break.
Help me!
Oh, shut up, Spike.
The Transformers will return after these messages.
Creating confusion is AstroTrain's specialty. As a triple changer, he can switch from space shuttle to train to robot almost instantaneously. AstroTrain thrives on his foes' panic and fear. As a shuttle, he travels at 20,000 miles per hour in orbit, up to 50,000 miles per hour out of orbit, and can launch weapons and satellites. As a train, he carries cargo while reaching a top speed of 400 miles per hour at a range of 1,700 miles. As a robot, AstroTrain has great strength and carries a powerful ionic displacer rifle. Unlike Blitzwing's toy, AstroTrain's was designed for, but never released, by Diaclone, making his 1985 release in the Transformers the first time his toy was ever available in retail. However, like Blitzwing, the AstroTrain prototype was recolored for Hasbro's release. Due to the late change, the original toy was used as his animation model, leading to his darker color in the cartoon. Ironically, back in Japan, AstroTrain was released there exclusively as a white figure with different markings and decals, more closely resembling a real-life space shuttle. AstroTrain's figure has a distinct chest piece that was clearly not opened or simply ignored when his design was finalized. Sometimes in animation, his tail fin will stick out of his back, and sometimes it's replaced by the shuttle thrusters. Different animation models would often lead to inconsistent coloring as well. First appearing in Megatron's Master Plan Parts 1 and 2, AstroTrain enters the cartoon halfway through its second season. Like most other new characters, he just shows up one day, with no explanation of how he got to Earth. In addition to often teaming up with his fellow triple changer, Blitzwing, AstroTrain was also featured in the episode Blaster Blues, where he would duel with Omega Supreme on the surface of the moon. Or more prominently, in The God Gambit, where he used religious fear to manipulate the innocent worshippers of the lunar world of Titan. Just like Cosmos would for the Autobots, AstroTrain could mass shift in space shuttle mode, allowing him to bring his fellow Decepticons to alien worlds. Though once he arrived, he'd often find himself stuck in shuttle mode until his comrades would bring him more energon. His toy would remain available through 1986, allowing him to be featured, bringing the Decepticons back to Cybertron from Earth in Transformers the movie. AstroTrain was voiced by Jack Angel.
Jettison some weight, or I'll never make it to Cybertron!
He would also continue on into the third season, and would be seen beside Blitzwing in the Japanese continuation of G1, as well as in Marvel Comics. Later exclusive UK stories would see him revived after the Underbay saga, due to an exclusive reissue of his toy in Europe and Asia. AstroTrain was seen as a regular character in Dreamwave comics of the early 2000s, until he met his fate at the hands of RC. 2006 would see a new G1-inspired AstroTrain in the Transformers Classics line, with a recolored version released in Japan, colored after his cartoon model. In 2007, the Transformers Collectors Club released AstroTrain in the Unicron universe, recoloring Jetfire from Transformers Armada. AstroTrain received another figure in the Titans Return line, with Headmaster figure, Dark Moon. Again, re-released in Japan in his G1 cartoon colors. 2020 would mark the first time AstroTrain was seen on television since the original series, arriving in Transformers Cyberverse as a giant from a parallel universe, a universe in which Megatron has conquered all. This AstroTrain would aid the Autobots and Decepticons of our universe in order to defeat this new Megatron, but would ultimately be killed by his own kind for his treachery. AstroTrain would appear in Netflix's War for Cybertron series, receiving a new G1-inspired toy, with a sleeker, more cartoon-accurate version on its way from the studio series. AstroTrain has also been featured in the Energon universe. There he is discovered aboard the wreckage of the Nemesis at the ocean floor. Having been in prison for millions of years by Megatron, once released, he is dead set on revenge. AstroTrain finally confronts Megatron and loses. In the end, he meets his fate as Megatron commands Starscream to take him out once and for all.
We now return to the Transformers.
We now return to a citywide flood with 0 human casualties, including Spike, unfortunately. Finding him under a pile of rubble that would have easily killed him, Prime brings Spike back to life with his built-in AC unit.
How's that for air conditioning, pal?
Wait, what the fuck just happened?
Powerglide flies a newly resurrected Spike to safety as Trailbreaker drives off the flow of the water. He does this through the power of force fields and Robo-Pride awareness.
He also flooded the neighboring town, killing several thousand, but it's best not to dwell on that.
From there, Optimus and Ironhide stop the flood at its source. Elsewhere, Blitzwing's rigged game is about to come crashing down on him.
Victory is ours!
As the Constructicons call Blitzwing out for his false promises of partnership, he makes the dumbest move possible by insulting them.
Tell you what, guys, why don't you go build a bridge and jump off it?
I think you know how this thing turns out.
As the 6 Constructicons merge into Devastator, Blitzwing is clearly overpowered and a total dumbass for not seeing this outcome. In an ironic twist, Prime and Megatron cross paths while each searching for AstroTrain and Blitzwing. Prime offers Megatron the most insulting defeat of all. He simply drives away in search of the real leaders of the Decepticons. It turns out to all be a ruse. As Trailbreaker directs the rest of the water to the field, Prime leads Megatron and Starscream to their own comeuppance. Before Devastator can defeat Blitzwing, the last of the flood breaks through the stadium wall. AstroTrain magically floats into the scene, as the plot now requires him to be there. Soon the alliance of traitors unravels, as the Triple Changers attack one another. Devastator steps on AstroTrain in train mode, crushing him. In the next shot, AstroTrain is perfectly fine and in robot mode. Megatron then arrives, taking charge, Three Stooges style. Megatron fires on Devastator, who easily overpowers him. As they all get their asses kicked, our 3 conspirators each try to win back favor with Megatron. The moment is interrupted as Megatron is taken to the ropes once again. Our heroes remain safely on the sidelines. As Megatron is the last Decepticon standing, he reclaims his place as leader, declaring all personal vendettas are second to his cause.
But never forget that I, Megatron, will always be leader of the Decepticons!
Newly inspired to be led to victory against the Autobots, our villains retreat once again, so the episode can end. We close with a bizarre symbolic gesture of newly repaired Autobots offering to make themselves back into a throne for Optimus Prime. Our hero, however, goes out reminding us why we love him.
Thrones are for Decepticons. Besides, I'd rather roll.
And so he does.
Well, that was Triple Takeover, and we survived it together. And you might be wondering, is he gonna rip on it any further? Yes. Yes, he is.
Starscream briefly has blue eyes. This entire episode is built on the premise that Blitzwing and Astrotrain outsmart two characters that are way smarter than they are. They later spend the rest of the episode acting like really stupid dumbasses. Exhibit A, expecting trains to magically come to life, and Exhibit B, not understanding the difference between a football stadium and the Pentagon. What a pair of assholes. Disappearing rubble. The coach's line comes from Blitzwing's mouth.
Okay! Commander!
Astrotrain throws away a panel as he begins working on the train. As he installs the new component, you can see that the original panel is still in place. When does this poor guy get to eat or go to the bathroom? And how long before someone comes looking for him? The entire team saw what happened to him. Unless... did Blitzwing murder all of them? Was he still in that locker when the stadium flooded? Did he drown? Would it not have been more amusing and satisfying if we saw him get rescued by the Autobots, and then on the sidelines enjoying a laugh, as Blitzwing himself got bullied around a little? I think so. Why did it take major warfare explosions for the Autobots to get involved? How did the incident at the stadium and the building of this highway maze not bring them sooner? Looking closely at the pile of Autobot parts, a tiny version of Omega Supreme's arm is there, but shouldn't be, for multiple reasons. Blitzwing tries to attack the escaping Autobots, and I think is supposed to crash into Scrapper not seeing him through the smoke, but this happens. So awkward. The voice of Thrust switches between shots to Thundercracker.
Hey, AstroTrain, how's your job working on the railroad? Show some respect for your leader!
Leader? How do you figure that, choo-choo brain?
When the Decepticon Seekers go underground, we see that Starscream is with them in several shots, but he isn't unfrozen until the following scene. How did all these trains end up like this? How is any of this even physically possible? Why do they all bend like garden hoses? As the Decepticon Seekers race to Blitzwing's location, we see Blitzwing traveling with them. In an earlier shot, he's at the front of the group, but in Astrotrain's colors for some reason. Just fucking weird, man. At the end of the episode, Blitzwing and Astrotrain are mad at each other, but they haven't been together since the first act, when together they gleefully captured Megatron and Starscream. Why are they mad at each other? This crash landing was brought to you by AI. Terrible.
Well, I do hope they'll do better next time. And hey, speaking of next time, our next episode is Prime Target, an episode that I enjoy a lot more than this one. Plus, we'll be bringing back the Triple Changers as they're featured in that one as well. We're also going to be taking a closer look at rare G1 characters, Whirl and Roadbuster. So in the meantime, please like, share, and subscribe, and I do sincerely hope to have you back here for our next episode. Thank you for watching. Take care.
Coach, it's a tank! What do I do?
Give him the ball!